Imagine this. You're sitting in your dorm room, the pale glow of your laptop lighting up the pages of your study notes. Final exams are breathing down your neck, each hour tighter than the last. Your phone vibrates. Again, another message. Same name, same girl. You didn't sign up for this. You didn't ask to become someone's emotional lifeline. You didn't offer to be anyone's therapist, savior, or social anchor. You were just trying to be kind. You were just trying to survive a new school, a new environment, and a new chapter of your life. And now you're wondering if you're the villain in someone else's story. Let me take you back. I transferred to a new school 5 weeks before graduation. Just 5 weeks. You'd think it'd be a quiet exit, a low-key end to a chaotic senior year. But those final days became something else entirely. On my second day at this new school, I noticed a girl named Laura. She wasn't mean or loud or anything that would draw attention. In fact, she seemed like the kind of person most people overlooked. Quiet, isolated, alone. So I did what I thought was decent. I said hello. I asked her name. I gave her a smile. Nothing grand, just human. That small gesture, it unlocked something I wasn't prepared for. She started following me around school. Every class, every break, every lunch period. If I moved, she moved. If I sat, she sat. I had become her shadow's shadow, and I wanted to be compassionate. I wanted to believe she was just lonely, maybe nervous, maybe a little socially unsure. So I kept it light, polite, measured. But by the second week, it wasn't just companionship. It was suffocation. She clung to me so tightly that other classmates began to notice. I tried to gently suggest space. Hey, maybe you could sit with someone else today? But she didn't take the hint. I started choosing other project partners. She got upset. She told the teacher. The teacher actually forced me to go back and sit with her. That's when I knew this wasn't going to end quietly. And then the texting started. After our time at school was over, Laura asked for my number. I hesitated, but against my better judgment, I gave it. It was like opening a floodgate. She started sending messages at all hours. Random TikToks, CapCut edits, life updates, photos of meals, walls of emojis, questions about things I'd never shared with her. 7 minutes after I didn't reply to her last message, she sent another, and another, and another. That's when I said, busy, bye. I blocked her. I thought maybe, just maybe, that would be the end. It wasn't. She got a new number. Somehow. I still don't know how. She texted me again, this time playing it coy. Hey, I know you're probably really busy with school, but it didn't stop there. More pictures, more messages. She wanted to know where I was going to college. She wanted to know my favorite music. She wanted to know what I was doing every single moment of my life. I kept my responses short. Oh, okay. Thanks. Gotta go. Studying now. She didn't care. She'd keep texting. Sometimes she'd just send, or, are you ignoring me? Or, are you asleep? It was like being caught in emotional quicksand. The more I tried to pull away, the tighter it gripped. I started to get nervous when my phone buzzed. I'd be in the library trying to memorize molecular structures and see her name light up again. And again. My stomach would clench. My heart would race. I was starting to feel guilty for needing space in the first place. So I did what I'd been avoiding for weeks. I told the truth. I sent her a message that wasn't wrapped in politeness, not coated in sugar, not softened to protect her feelings at the cost of my own. I said, seriously, what do you want? What do you need? I'm in the middle of studying for finals. I'm exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. I need to focus. Please only contact me if it's absolutely necessary. I paused, then I kept going. I blocked you. And honestly, I blocked about 50 or 60 people so I could focus on school. It's nothing personal, but I'm drowning here. And I don't really mind talking to you. I really don't. But can I just do it when I actually have the patience and time? Still not done. I'm sorry, but our acquaintanceship isn't worth me jeopardizing my grades. Please, just give me some space. And after all that, she replied, "Oh, okay. But I understand you're very busy with your studies, right?" It was like she hadn't heard a single thing I'd said, like she'd filtered my honesty through her own script. I took one last breath and sent one last message. "I'm asking you to please respect that." She never replied, and now I sit here, wondering, was I too harsh? Did I say too much? Could I have worded it better? Did I owe her more grace, more patience? Or did I finally draw a boundary I should have drawn weeks ago? So, am I the asshole? Here's the thing. Drawing boundaries with someone who doesn't see the boundary is one of the hardest emotional battles you'll ever face, especially when their need is real, especially when their loneliness is real, especially when they don't mean harm. But this story, it's not about villainy. Laura isn't evil. She's not some manipulative monster hiding behind fake friendship. She's a person with feelings, with history, maybe even with trauma. But so am I. And what we don't talk about enough is how self-preservation can feel like cruelty, when it's actually self-respect. We live in a culture that romanticizes compassion, but often vilifies limits. We teach people to give, but not when to stop giving. To love, but not how to retreat. To be kind, but not how to say enough. This story is uncomfortable because it lives in the gray space between kindness and survival, between emotional labor and emotional cost. I wasn't trying to hurt her. I was trying to breathe. And I know some people might say, it was just messages. What's the big deal? But emotional intrusion doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it texts. Sometimes it just doesn't stop. And if you've ever felt your stomach drop when a name pops up on your screen, if you've ever rehearsed a polite, "I'm busy," a dozen different ways, if you've ever had to block someone not out of hate, but out of exhaustion, you understand. And that's the truth I'm holding on to. I didn't explode. I didn't ghost. I didn't humiliate her. I spoke clearly. I gave chances. I tried to protect her feelings until I had to protect mine. So if you're listening to this and you've been there, trapped in a friendship that wasn't mutual, in a conversation that wouldn't end, in a connection you never asked for, you're not alone. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for yourself is walk away. And if that makes you the villain in someone else's story, maybe that's okay. Because you are not here to be someone's emotional landfill. You are not required to carry weight that crushes your spirit. You are allowed to say, "This is too much," and mean it, even if it hurts, even if it looks cold, even if it ends in silence. Because peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of boundaries. So now, I pass this question to you, the listener, the witness, the stranger who stumbled into this story. Was I the asshole? Or was I finally just honest? This has been AITA Stories, and here's my reflection. We live in a world desperate for connection, and that's a beautiful thing. But connection without consent without mutual space, without emotional equity, becomes control. Not always intentionally, but impact, intention. If you find yourself giving until you're empty, know this. Setting boundaries is not an act of war. It's an act of wisdom. And if someone sets a boundary with you, listen. Don't argue. Don't guilt trip. Just listen. Because sometimes silence isn't rejection. It's recovery. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever had to walk away from someone who clung too tightly? Have you ever felt guilty for protecting your energy? Drop a if you've ever ignored a message because your soul needed quiet. And if you feel brave, tell your story. Let's make this a space where honesty is not punished. It's celebrated. Until next time, take care of your heart and respect your no.